Hmm.
So I got out of a about a 15-month relationship with a single mommy over the weekend,
Hmm.
and it was one of the most bizarre experiences I've ever had because I've never sat down and had a conversation with someone and say this is what I want, this is what I want to do, and this is it. There was no conversation, no really argument, no discussion to have,
Hmm.
but she literally didn't let me break up with her. It was absolutely bizarre.
Like what? I'm not letting you go, or like what
Like
was she
it
saying?
was, she said that it was not a joint decision. It had to be a joint decision. That breaking up was not a decision that I could make.
Oh
You
my
know,
God, the audacity, eh? It's got to
yeah,
be a joint decision.
it has to be a joint decision. I was like,
Okay.
I've never been
How did
broken
you
up.
handle that?
I played the part for the remainder of the weekend because I
Uh-huh.
was kind of the saving grace with this one was that it was 2.5 hours relationship, like 2.5 hours away. So we
Why did you
never,
want to break up with her? What did she do wrong?
honestly, it was, and I want to say to John earlier, he was saying, the 6 month thing, take
Hmm.
it longer,
Hmm.
take it longer because
Yeah.
she played the part. She did a great job. Even with two kids, she showed me, she was willing to, commit and do the things I asked her to do, stay in my frame and all these things.
Hmm.
But it was a very slow, gradual, and I felt like the analogy I was making to some of my friends was I felt like the frog in the pot that was
Right.
slowly raising up to boiling temperature.
Yeah.
So, it was very slow and gradual, and I think she knew what she was doing in that regard. So that being said, yeah, it was just too much with the kids and the soccer practice and the karate and the this and the that and
Oh,
going
you got
here and
dragged
there.
into all that stuff too, eh?
Absolutely, yeah.
Did
So
you did you get yourself in a position where you've got like all the responsibility of a parent with none of the authority, or did you have some authority?
And that was a conversation actually I had with her. And I said, that was my main concern. I said, I don't want to be in that scenario where I'm responsible with no authority. And she said to me that she she's like, I will give you as much authority as I can.
Hmm.
If you want to discipline them, I'm not going to say anything to you unless it's something that is absolutely ridiculous and we can have a conversation about it. So,
Hmm.
she, in that regard, did kind of do those things, but no, it can't work out.
All right.
It, Never doing a single mom again.
All right. Well, that's there you go, guys. There's another share. There's another experience share for you guys. Do you have a question too, or?
I do actually on the spinning plates thing. So I've never done that. I'm not very experienced in it. So other than obviously your book and those kinds of information, I've seen some stuff with Rolo and whatnot. But what's a good kind of beginner's guide to start and get into spinning plates and kind of practice that?
Well, I mean, you should know that it's effective because it's basically a tool that we took from women's tool chest. You know, women are natural plate spinners because they're hypergamous, right? So they're always looking for the best deal they can get. So, I mean, if you see a girl in a dating app, you know, on Tinder or Bumble or whatever, she's likely not single. She's likely seeing another guy or several other guys, and she's weighing out some options,
Gotcha.
right? So all you're really doing is you're taking a tool from their tool chest and being like, all right, you know, that's a good idea. You know, I like that one. And then you just do it. You just start dating and you let the cream rise to the top. And there's going to be some women like, you know, it's like the whole plate spinning thing. And I know Rollo's got a bunch of blogs on it, but it's like, you know, you put a plate on, you start to spin it, and it just kind of sits there and it just goes. After a while, eventually, a few of them are going to fall off. After a
Right.
while, you know, some of them are just going to have some good momentum, and all you do is throw a few inputs in, and they just keep going. And that's all that it really is, right? I mean, you just kind of go about your life, you chase excellence, you know, you're going to date a few women, and you're doing it so that you can weigh out options. A man with options is in a very, very good position, right? Especially if they're in a if they're out there looking for women, because there's a lot of guys that still want to have kids or they want a girlfriend, you know, sort of thing. That's a way to like kind of filter through, you know, the wheat to get the chaff sort of thing, right?
Mhm.
So it's you know, you got to separate, you know, the riff from the raff. A guy once said to me, you know, you're going to have to dig through a lot of dirt to find gold, and that's all that plate spinning can really be distilled down to. There's no real handbook that I've seen. I mean, I'll probably, I don't know, maybe I'll put a chapter in my book on it for my own experience and views and some of my bits and pieces of advice on it. But it, it should be natural and comfortable, right? Like I don't like the okay, do A and then B and then C and then D. It's like just do your thing, date a bunch of women. When you're early on, you know, you don't see them more than once a week. Like you know, I don't know. Do you have kids? Are you divorced? Like, what's your story right now?
No kids, no divorce, no nothing.
Okay,
Just
so basically, between your extracurriculars, if you're playing hockey with friends or you know hang out and play poker from time to time on certain nights, you've got a lot of open nights then, right?
absolutely, yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to do dates on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays or something like that. And it's like, you know, the women that you start to spend more time with, that you're starting to dig their vibe on, then you can spend time with them more on the weekend. But the newer ones should be relegated, you know, basically to the weekdays, right?
Okay.
You know, it's a quick, low time commitment. If it's a first time date, it's like an hour. You have a coffee or a drink, you go for a stroll, you just kind of check them out, you know, make sure that you dig her vibe, she digs yours, sort of things. And then you kind of escalate from there, and you take them, you know, take them through the second date and the third date and all that. And it's like, you know, you're getting an intimacy, you're learning more about what they're doing, you know, with their lives. You're trying to figure out, you know, is this somebody that I want to spend more time with? You know, maybe not. You know, maybe they're crazy. You want to keep them at arm's length because, you know, they're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You know, it's really just a tool that you use to kind of assess what they're really made of. That's all it really is.
Okay, gotcha. And
Right.
then, so similar idea for like a entrepreneur or whatnot, hire slow, fire fast kind of thing.
Hire slow, fire fast. You know, it's the same thing with women, same thing with employees, same thing with business partners, vendors. It's a very good rule in life. You know, that's why I put that in a chapter in my book. Hire slow, fire fast. You know, take your time to see what somebody's made out of, and when they show you what they're made out of, you know who they really are. That's what you got, man. You just get rid of them. Then it's like, see you later. We're done.
One final thing, if I can. So I've got some, obviously more disposable income now that I don't have this
Of
burden in my
course.
life.
Yeah.
Looking at joining your community, and wanted to have just a quick question for you.
Mhm.
Interested in doing that, and do you foresee increasing the yearly price for the regular non-business membership anytime between now and say tax season next year? Or
Yeah, I'm always increasing the prices to my community over time, but it just improves the quality of the dialogue and the conversations and the people in there.
okay,
But I mean, you're always grandfathered in at whatever the entry point is. I mean, I've got some OGs in there from like the early years that are paying, you know, next to nothing and they're not going anywhere. But yeah, the prices always go up over time.
gotcha, awesome, excellent. Thank you so much.
All right, man. See ya.